Welcome to Nikola in Phoenix, Arizona. Let's get you guys inside and I'll show you around. Hey, Mark Russell, Kim Brady. I have some very important guests for you guys today.
Trevor, exciting day.
Hey, welcome. We're so excited that you're here. Got some really cool stuff to show you, but I think Trevor's gonna start upstairs.
I am. Let's head upstairs, guys. Follow me. So now we're here on the 3rd floor, and I'm excited to show you where this all began. So in 2015, that's when we started building the team out. When we first began, the economics of this was that I was self-funding it, and I had to make sure that I saved money everywhere I could. So in our entire basement, all through the basement, it was full of computers. Upstairs was full of computers, in the living room, in the kitchen, and all of our employees worked out of there for quite some time, almost a year. We launched the truck in 2016 to the world, and at that point when it came out, we racked up billions of dollars of pre-orders. When we first began, no one thought that zero-emission trucks would ever work. And that's what was so exciting about this Nikola story from the beginning. So one of the things we needed a partner. We had Robert Bosch join into our company to help us, and that was one of the biggest steps we made getting to where we are. We decided at that point that we were going to be moving to Arizona. Immediately right after that, we signed a deal with Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch ordered 800 trucks. Imagine that, zero-emission freight for 800 million miles. From there, we launched the Nikola Tre. The Nikola Tre is a European truck with the same technology that's in the United States truck. We unveiled the Nikola 2, the production intent hydrogen electric semi-truck that the world said could not be built. A company that came out of a basement built the most advanced semi-truck the world has ever seen in an environment that all the other manufacturers said could never be done. And we proved them wrong. We reached over a $3 billion valuation with Nikola in our latest round, a $250 million Series D round. And shortly thereafter, we completed the very first commercial delivery of freight with the Nikola hydrogen truck. This happened in St. Louis, Missouri with Anheuser-Busch. Then an exciting time in our life is when we announced the Nikola and Iveco joint venture. This was a big time for us because we needed a partner that could help us build trucks. We had a lot of technology, we had a lot of prototypes done, but we needed someone that could help us actually manufacture with quality a truck that could last 1 million miles, no problem. If you thought the last 4 or 5 years was exciting, just wait until you see the next 4 or 5 years with Nikola. I think it's gonna be one of the greatest stories ever told, and I'm excited to be part of it and excited to share it with you guys. All right, now that you guys have seen where we've come from, I wanna show you where all the action happens. We're on the middle floor of the Nikola building right now. This building, inside and outside, wraps around an entire track. It's an interior track that allows us to build a vehicle from the beginning to the end. And what this allows our teams to do is each team can work on that vehicle as it drives around the entire racetrack. And as the vehicle can drive all the way around the building, it goes through assembly, it goes through interiors, it goes through engineering, it goes through suspension, it goes through hydrogen, controls, vehicle, electrification, the entire vehicle. And then in the very back is where we're building our new state-of-the-art dyno facility where the vehicle will be tested after it's completely built here. So now, come with me, I'm gonna show you the design studio. Okay, I'm gonna head over and show you guys the clay modeling room. This is where it goes from a concept to an actual vehicle, which is a lot of fun. Come follow me. This is where the design studio is. This is where a lot of the designers work. There's a level here and upstairs. And when you're up top looking down, you can see if there's anything that needs to be adjusted. That way, before you get to production, you've looked at that vehicle in every angle. Okay, so you saw the clay model room and how something's built. But this fabrication room is where all the structure begins. If you look at this vehicle here, this is the European truck that was designed for the interior. So if you take a look at the inside, you can see how we've actually designed it to be a real functioning truck. We would bring the drivers in, allow them to sit down, play with the interior of the truck, make sure everything flows correctly, and then we know we have a perfect interior. Come on here and I'm gonna show you how these parts are actually made. All right, so now we're in our fabrication room. This is one of the coolest places in the whole building. Why is that? It's because we can take any part we want and fabricate it here without ever leaving the building. So a part that would normally take 3 to 6 months to get back, we can have done within 3 to 6 days. This is a laser cutter here that uses no CO2, and it allows us to really fabricate any part we want. We can laser cut, we can bend with this also, and we can tube cut. With the presses, we can take any sheet metal and bend it, cut it, weld it together, and we can create fixtures or entire chassis. If you guys come this way, these machines here are the most desirable 5-axis machines pretty much around. We have to have absolute perfection with all the parts that we build. And this is only for prototyping, remember, it's not for full production. So we can take a knuckle or an A-arm or an entire chassis, we can do it all here without ever leaving. We have one of the largest 3D printers in the world. Why is that important? Because if you were to make a cab of a truck and you were to send that out to a supplier to build it for you, it could take 6 months before you get it back. We can do that within a few days with this machine here. So from the bottom to the top, it can print an entire part. This machine allows us to take our big, bulky parts, put them into here, and this machine will totally clean that part up. This is how we compete with the big guys. We do it all in-house. All these rooms here are built, as I told you guys earlier, they're built to design where the labs are underneath and the offices are up above. So all the teams, whether they're electrical controls, hydrogen, server teams, no matter what it is, they're all within this racetrack all the way around the building. And welcome to the largest hydrogen station in the Western world. This is where all the hydrogen is stored, cooled, pumped, and dispensed. I'm gonna hand you off to Mark Russell here. Mark's gonna give you a tour of the hydrogen station and the truck and give you a ride and drive. Mark, it's all yours.
Thanks, Trevor. Say hello to one of our Nikola 2 hydrogen fuel cell electric truck prototypes. And the first thing you're gonna notice is that's one of the coolest looking semi-trucks you've ever seen in your life. But the real magic is on the inside. No diesel engine in here. Hydrogen fuel cells. They're taking oxygen from the air, combining with hydrogen that we have on board, and they're turning it into electricity. The only byproduct of this exchange is water, which is what we started out with when we made the hydrogen in the first place. It's really elegant. The hydrogen is here in tanks within the frame, up to 80 kilos on board. That gets us 600 miles of range. We can pull a load for 600 miles with this truck, which you could not do with batteries. If you tried to do that with batteries, they would get so big and heavy that they would take some of your payload. When the hydrogen fuel cell turns the air and the hydrogen into water and releases the electricity, it comes back here to the wheels, and we actually drive them right here at the wheels. The motor's right here. We've got 4 of these on this particular prototype. Each of them drives a pair of these wheels, gives you all kinds of power and torque. Over here is Dale Prows. He's one of our hydrogen experts.
What I'm going to show you is Nikola's hydrogen fueling station, and essentially what we have is 1,000 kilograms of gaseous hydrogen stored on site. We have compression and cooling equipment that takes that gas and brings it over here to this dispenser. This dispenser then loads the high pressure gas onto the truck, and as you can see, it's very similar to a diesel fueling experience. And one of our goals is to make sure that the fueling time on this fueling experience is equal to or better than a diesel fueling experience. So something less than 15 minutes per fueling time. There's all kinds of safety precautions and equipment that are put in place to make this a safety-oriented process. And so at this point, Mark, we're all fueled up. You want to take our first spin?
Absolutely. First thing you'll notice about this cab is the spaciousness. It's a lot more room here than you would have in a diesel cab. The driver's further forward, the floor is lower. Next thing you're going to notice is all these screens. These 3 are for safety. These are actually cameras in place of the mirrors. That gives us no outside mirrors. Greatly improves the aerodynamics of the vehicle. This is another safety going to the rear. And then there's the dashboard functions on that screen. And then this screen is our infotainment. All of the software in this thing is Nikola proprietary. We developed everything in-house. The software, including the software that runs the truck, can be updated over the air whenever that's needed. The other thing you're going to notice is the noise, or rather the lack of it. It doesn't make any noise from the outside when it's just sitting there. It's either silent or you hear a very quiet compressor that gets the air up to the same pressure as the hydrogen for the fuel. So other than that, silence. When it's moving outside, it's just tire noise. Hey, Kim.
Mark, how was the ride?
It was awesome. That's such an incredible machine. Never gets old.
You know, I'm so glad that we got to showcase the truck and this beautiful facility and the demonstration of hydrogen fueling station. Are you ready for the next segment of the presentation?
Absolutely. We know everybody wants to look at the numbers and get into the data, so that'll be next.
Fantastic. Let's do it.
Thanks.